Whitney Houston was born with a gift so powerful it seemed untouchable. Her voice soared effortlessly from church pews to global stages, carrying songs that became anthems. By the late 1980s, she was the most awarded female artist of her era, a flawless icon with crossover appeal that broke barriers for Black women in pop. But behind the perfection, behind the smile and the glittering gowns, her life was entangled in lawsuits, addictions, and scandals that would ultimately destroy her body and overshadow her legacy. The first cracks in her empire came through the courts. Fame had built her fortune, but it also made her a target. Throughout the 1990s, Whitney faced a string of lawsuits from business associates and former employees. One of the most infamous came from her father, John Houston, whose company filed a $100 million lawsuit against her for breach of contract. The betrayal cut deeper than money. To be sued by her own family was proof that trust had evaporated under the weight of fame and fortune. The lawsuit was eventually dismissed, but the damage was permanent. Whitney was left feeling cornered, even in her private life. Meanwhile, her marriage to Bobby Brown became its own courtroom saga. Their relationship, forged in love and chaos, quickly spiraled into fights, arrests, and restraining orders. Police reports detailed domestic violence, drug possession, and public disturbances. Every headline blurred the line between music stardom and tabloid drama. What had once been America's sweetheart was now the subject of mugshots, court appearances, and reality TV meltdowns. Her addiction battles soon moved from whispers to undeniable reality. Rumors of cocaine use had followed her for years, but the truth exploded in the early 2000s. In a 2002 interview, she admitted to using drugs with Bobby, but insisted she was still in control. Yet photographs of her frail frame and canceled concerts told another story. Rehab stints, failed interventions, and endless tabloid speculation became a cycle she couldn't escape. Her once angelic voice began to show cracks, missed notes, shortened ranges, shaky performances. Audiences who had once gasped at her perfection now watched in shock as her downfall played out live. Then came the legal struggles after her career faltered. Whitney was sued for failing to show up at concerts. Promoters filed breach of contract claims when her voice and health could no longer carry her commitments. In 2001, her record label Arista gave her a $100 million deal, the biggest in music history at the time. But as her addiction worsened, the contract became a burden. By the mid-2000s, she could not deliver the hits that the label demanded. Lawsuits and financial strain revealed a grim reality. Whitney, once the most bankable star in music, was broke. Her divorce from Bobby Brown in 2007 added another layer of legal conflict. Custody battles over their daughter Bobby Christina made headlines, with accusations of unfit parenting and toxic environments. Whitney won custody, but by then, her struggles were public knowledge. She became a symbol not just of lost potential, but of the cruel way fame magnifies human weakness. By 2009, she attempted a comeback with the album I Look to You. But even that was marred by controversy. While the record sold well, critics and fans could hear the damage to her once perfect instrument. Concert reviews turned harsh. Lawsuits followed again when she canceled dates, citing illness. The comeback became another reminder of what addiction and legal turmoil had stolen. On February 11, 2012, Whitney was found dead in a hotel bathtub in Beverly Hills the night before the Grammy Awards. The coroner ruled it an accidental drowning, with cocaine and heart disease as contributing factors. Her death shocked the world but also seemed tragically inevitable. She was 48. Even in death, the legal battles didn't stop. Disputes over her estate, her music rights, and her fortune continued in courtrooms. Her daughter Bobby Christina inherited much, only to face her own tragic death 3 years later, also tied to drugs and drowning. The Houston family remained entangled in lawsuits for years, with her legacy constantly questioned by creditors, promoters, and opportunists. Whitney Houston's story is one of contrasts: divine voice and human fragility, public triumph and private destruction. Her crimes, if they can be called that, were not of malice, but of self-destruction. Fueled by the pressures of fame, the betrayals of those closest to her, and the ruthless spotlight of the media. The courts, the contracts, the scandals, they became chapters in the fall of a woman who once seemed untouchable. In the end, Whitney remains both a cautionary tale and an immortal voice. Her ballads still play at weddings, her national anthem remains unmatched, and I Will Always Love You echoes with tragic irony. But behind the notes, there is always the silence of what she lost. The courtroom files, the settlements, the lawsuits, all reminders that even the greatest voice of a generation could not escape the weight of scandal.